Have you ever felt like your prayers are just words you're sending out into the universe, hoping someone's listening? Well, today, we're going to look at this from a totally different angle. We're going to dive into how the prophets turned supplication, or dua, from a simple request into a powerful, life-changing conversation with God. Let's get into it.
First things first, we have to start with this fundamental truth from the Quran. Life is supposed to be difficult. It's a test. This verse makes it crystal clear that challenges, fear, hunger, loss, they aren't some kind of bug in the system. They are a guaranteed part of the deal. It's the starting point for every single one of us.
But what if we just flipped the script on that? What if these tests aren't meant to break us, but are actually meant to open up a direct line of communication? I mean, think about it. Maybe hardship is God's way of inviting you to turn towards Him, to talk to Him, and to start a conversation that leads to some serious personal growth.
So if life is a test, what's our main tool for getting through it? The answer is dua. Let's really unpack what that means.
Okay, let's totally reframe how we think about dua. It is not a cosmic vending machine where you put in a prayer and hope you get what you want. Not at all. It's so much more like a constant, open line of communication. It's the thing that grounds us, reminds us why we're here, and keeps us connected, whether life is amazing or feels like it's completely falling apart. And you know, there's even a kind of etiquette to this conversation. These aren't rigid rules, but they are a way to make the whole practice more powerful. You start with praise, you ask with real humility, you trust the timing with patience, and you even try to do something good before you ask. It turns a simple request into a really mindful act of worship. So how does this tool actually work when things get real? Well, let's look at the people who mastered it. The prophets weren't these untouchable superheroes who were immune to pain. No way. They were human beings who faced unimaginable struggles, and their prayers literally show us the roadmap through our own. Each one of them faced a unique kind of test, and their dua was perfectly tailored to that exact moment.
We're going to start with a pain that is so deeply human it's almost hard to talk about: the grief of a parent. Prophet Yaqub, or Jacob, loses his son, Yusuf, who he loves more than anything. And this isn't a small thing. It's a crushing, decades-long sorrow. His test was one of profound, gut-wrenching loss.
Now pay close attention to who he complains to. He doesn't just vent to his other kids or his neighbors. No, he takes the deepest, most raw pain he feels and channels it directly into that conversation with God. He doesn't suppress it, he directs it. This is a prayer that literally turns grief into an act of faith.
And here's the key takeaway for us. Dua gives your pain a place to go. It gives it a purpose. Yaqub teaches us that patience isn't just sitting around quietly waiting. It's an active, ongoing trust in a bigger plan. And sometimes your deepest suffering can be the source of your most sincere and powerful prayer. Okay, so from a test of external loss, we move to a test of internal despair. I mean, just imagine the most hopeless situation you can think of. Prophet Yunus, or Jonah, is in the belly of a giant fish, in the dark, at the bottom of the sea, in the middle of the night. He is completely alone. There is physically no way out.
And in that moment of absolute, total despair, look at his prayer. It's not, "God, get me out of here." His very first words are an admission of his own mistake and an affirmation of God's greatness. He takes responsibility. This is a dua of pure accountability.
The lesson here is just so powerful. Salvation doesn't start with a demand for a rescue mission. It starts with self-awareness. By owning his mistake, Prophet Yunus opens the door for mercy. He proves that even when you hit rock bottom, when you're in total darkness, that conversation is still possible, and God is listening.
All right, so from a test of despair, we turn to a test of character. Prophet Yusuf, the same son Yaqub was grieving for, is now a young man facing an impossible choice. Either he commits a huge sin with the wife of a powerful man, or he gets thrown into prison for a crime he didn't even commit.
His dua in this moment is basically a declaration of his values. He's not just asking for a way out, he's actively choosing the harder path. He's telling God, "I would rather suffer injustice in a prison cell than disobey you." He uses prayer to lock in his principles and ask for the strength to face the consequences. This is a dua of resolve.
So the takeaway from Yusuf's story is that dua is also a tool for building our inner strength, our character. It's how we ask for the power not to avoid our tests, but to pass them with our integrity in one piece. It's what helps us choose character over comfort, even when that choice comes with a really high price. So we've seen how dua is our go-to for grief, for accountability, for strengthening our resolve when life is tough. But here's the thing. It's not just an emergency hotline. That conversation is meant to be happening all the time, especially when things are going great.
Let's take a look at Prophet Ibrahim, or Abraham. He has just finished this monumental, once-in-a-lifetime task with his son, building the Kaaba, the house of God. I mean, this is a moment of supreme achievement, the peak of his life's work.
So at the absolute height of his success, what does he pray for? Does he ask for more wealth, more status? Nope. He prays for humility and for the future. He asks God to keep him and his children submitted to him and to create a whole righteous nation from their family line. His prayer is so much bigger than himself.
This shows us that a really mature spiritual practice includes dua when things are easy too. It becomes a tool for showing gratitude, for cementing our values when we're not under pressure, and for planting seeds for a better future, not just for us, but for everyone who comes after us.
Okay, so we've looked at the theory, and we've seen these incredible examples from the prophets. Now it's time to bring this home and make it practical for our own lives.
How do we take these deep lessons and actually apply them right now? Well, there's a beautifully simple yet really powerful exercise we can all do to reflect.
This little framework here asks us to think about and make a vow in 3 key areas of our lives. First, what is one new positive habit you're going to start doing? Second, what's a good thing you already do that you're going to commit to doing more of? And this one's huge. What's one negative habit you're really going to try to stop doing? It's a simple, actionable game plan for your own growth.
But listen, this is way more than just a self-help checklist. The idea here is to frame this as your own personal code of conduct. It's a promise you're making, a standard you're setting for yourself as part of that ongoing conversation with God. That totally transforms it from a simple to-do list into a real spiritual commitment. And that brings us to the final question, the one I really want to leave you with. As you look at your own life, your struggles, your successes, your habits, what's the conversation you want to be having? What standards are you going to set for yourself starting today?